Guys.
It's the second time Jacqueline Johnson cried next to her son Kendrick's grave. The first time he was being lowered into the ground. This time he's being pulled out of it.
Did you ever expect that you'd have to exhume his body?
No, I didn't expect to have to bury his body.
In June, Kendrick's body was sent to Florida. The Johnsons hired Dr. Bill Anderson to conduct an independent second.
I know this doctor very well. And if you don't believe me, call him and ask him. I know him very well. And he told me that that body was absent from the brain to his pelvis. And I don't need to lie to nobody about it. You call the state of Florida and ask him if he knows me.
An autopsy. In that autopsy, Anderson told the Johnsons he'd found evidence that Kendrick died as the result of a blow to the neck. And
now we're going to stop it. Do you see his sneaker right there? They're saying, look at how big this guy is. Look at his feet. He's a big guy. He may have been young, but he was a big guy. Now, what I know about this is something else. I don't know. I know that the parents heard of it already, but now she's denying it. You see his sneaker right there, right? They said that he went in there to retrieve his other sneaker. No, he couldn't just lift the mat and pick up his sneaker. These people put stories in our minds, and they really think that we need to believe this. And this is all because of Detroit, Chicago, New York, Texas, the organ trafficking, the sex trafficking. Everything comes from these states. They do. Now, if Teresa would just let them bring that body out of the ground and bring Kanika's body out of the ground, we can get some answers. But let's get back into this. Look at the shoe. Look at the shoe. Look how big his shoe is. Look at his feet. Huh? You're going to tell me that this big guy is not going to pick up the mat? No, they rode him in that fucking mat after they killed him. Like I told you guys, I don't know if you guys know. This girl, after all these years, I think it's been almost a year, she went and told her best friend that the reason that Johnson was killed was because there was a big game, and at that game, Kendrick tried to talk to her, which was a lie. She lied and said that to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend was the one that hit it because he died from blunt force trauma to his neck. He didn't die. Ay, Dios mío. They make these stories and they want you to believe them. They really do. Like this big guy is going to go on a mat instead of picking up the fucking mat and throwing it to the side. The mats are thrown all over the damn place. Really, he's going to do this? I mean, they put stories to our minds, but the real story is this girl told her boyfriend that Kendrick was rapping to her and that he wanted to be with her. And him and his boys went in there in that fucking place. I'll show you.
Not accidental asphyxia after slipping into a rolled gym mat at school.
Yeah, right.
Investigators in Georgia had said
he slipped in.
Dr. Anderson did not find.
Come on.
Them.
When we got the body
Tell him.
For the second autopsy, that organs, the heart, lungs, liver, etc., were not with the body.
The brain?
The brain.
Absent.
All absent.
Now, like I was telling you guys, that girl saw her boyfriend that Kendrick was rapping to her. Look, there's Kendrick right there, right? This is where we have the blind spot, where the mats are. And as they said it, the mats were on the other side of the gym the day before. And this night, what was that? It keeps doing it, like it grabs it and goes. But let me show you. You'll hear him talking.
Another student, and as soon as he runs out, you see that student disappears, and a couple of other students appear. It's from one image to the next, with no explanation of how those students got to that position or where the student at that red shirt went. Now, we blurred their faces because they're minors in this video and the next. Let's go to the next one. You can see Kendrick at the bottom right of the screen. He's walking at first, and then he runs out of the frame, and just like the first video, other students just appear. No explanation of how they got to that point. You don't see them walk in. We've not edited these videos to just kind of put one image next to the other. This is how we received them from the sheriff's office today.
There he is right there.
The video seems to be jumping
I'm sorry.
around.
Let me bring it back for a second. Let me just, because this is what we want to know about. You can see
Got to that
him.
point. You don't see them walk in. We've not edited these videos to just kind of put one image next to the other. This is how we received them from the sheriff's office today.
So the video seems to be jumping around. You're saying those aren't edits? Is that? I mean, I assume it's a motion sensor camera. Is that the way it's supposed to work? That it may take a few seconds for an image to register?
Yeah, when you're trying to cover up something, yeah, that's what happens. That's all, you guys. That girl went and told her best friend. She told her best friend that Kendrick was rapping for her.
Up here, rather. It's from one image to the next with no explanation of how those students got to that position or where the student at that red shirt went. Now, we blurred their faces because they're minors in this video and the next. Let's go to the next one. You can see Kendrick at the bottom right of the screen. He's walking at first, and then he runs out of the frame. And
he's running.
Like the first video.
See, he's running. He's running. Why? Because somebody in that blind spot, somebody was there. Just like what happened with Kanika. But Kendrick was able to get a little bit out of the gym before they brought him back in to the blind spot. There's a blind spot you guys cannot see. Now, let me see the thing off of it. Let's look at him. He's there. And then
behind another student, and as soon as he runs out, you see that student disappears, and a couple of other students appear rather. It's from one image to the next with no explanation of how those students got to that position or where the student at that red shirt went. Now, we blurred their faces because they're minors in this video and the next. Let's go to the next one. You can see Kendrick at the bottom right of the screen. He's walking at first, and then he runs out of the frame. And just
running.
like the first video,
he's running out of the frame. Running. Okay? Those mats were on this side of the gym. Right near these, the mats were on this side of the gym. It so happened that that day, they moved the mats to the other side, to where the blind spot is, so we couldn't see it. Anyway, if Teresa would let us get that body for justice and for her peace. And I'm out. Peace out. Love you guys. Peace. Exhume it for justice and your daughter's peace. Teresa, that's the only thing that's going to bring peace to your daughter, is justice. When you hear her, she's still, 3 years later almost, telling Candace Starr that she's still cold. Without justice, she will get no peace. Understand that. I'm out.